Mm. Now, before Game of Thrones, you'd been in the Tudors, playing Anne Boleyn there, and I guess in some ways they're similar shows in the sense that they've both got big costumes and sets and premium cable dramas and things like that. And I guess there's some political intrigue and stuff in both. But in another way, the worlds of these two shows are in many ways so different. A big sweeping fantasy and a sort of more historical base. So yeah,
Yeah.
did it prepare you well for Game of Thrones, or was it a completely sort of different beast?
Well, to be perfectly honest, other than already being quite knowledgeable at how to walk upstairs in a long skirt, which you'd be amazed at how tricky that is. um, yeah, no, to be honest. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Aesthetically, the connotations are the same. But you know, politics and and like politics and intrigue and sex and betrayal and political revolution. I think the reason that Tudors was such a strong show, and why Game of Thrones is such a phenomenally strong show, is yeah, they're set in these particular times, albeit historical, or fantasy, but they have these human, themes. They're just timeless, like universal human condition themes, and maybe they both had a bit of irreverence towards violence and sex, which is always great for an audience to sink its teeth into, but probably not as many practical, like I said, other than walking in a long skirt, comparisons than you would think. Actually, probably not, because they're totally different women. And I will admit that I was a little bit apprehensive at the trajectory that Margaery, as far as we know so far in the books, goes on, and it's echoes of maybe what I'd done with Anne. But I spoke to David and Dan about that very early in the process before I took the job, and they allayed my fears and said, no, don't worry about it, you're being stupid. They're totally different characterizations, totally different women, some plot points in like what they briefly go through. Don't worry about it. And I'm really glad that I took their confidence from them. And from the fans, I've been constantly bolstered and supported by fans and meeting fans since season 3 has aired, because everyone's kind of reassuring me that, yeah, that they're loving, hating, or not quite being able to read Margaery, and she's a completely different character to Anne. I need not have worried.